Hi everybody and welcome to Mr. Stansfield's Educational Videos. Today we're going to take a look at how to manually stitch together images. In this case we're going to be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 screenshots of this box. And I'll show you how to handle blending those together manually. There is a way to do it in Photoshop where it automatically does things for you, but in this case, because it's a screenshot, I know it's going to line up perfectly. So the first thing we're going to do here is choose one corner. Let's choose the upper left-hand corner to start with. And I'm going to hit the F key for a second here. And the main tool we're going to look at is the canvas size. So if I go to Image Canvas Size, the shortcut key is Command Option C. I'm going to go ahead and anchor this in the upper left-hand corner because I know that this is the upper left-hand corner of my final image. And I'm just going to, let's say double the width and the height and see how we do with that. We can always change it later. So I'm going to hit, from 10 to 20 and from 9 to about 20 as well. Okay. The canvas extension color in this case doesn't really matter, but I usually like to do white. And you can see it's a little bit bigger than the screen, so I'm going to hit Command 0 and then Command minus to bring it down a little bit. I'm going to hit the F key a couple of times here so I can grab these tabs. And you can see here we've got the bottom left-hand corner. I'm going to click that tab and drag it down. Click on my canvas extension, click and drag this in using the Move tool. And I'm going to try to manually get it to be pretty close to where it should be. And you can see we've got some lines that we have to contend with, and we'll figure that out later. I'm going to go ahead and close this so it's not open. Don't get confused. Grab the next tab, drag it over, and then I'm going to roughly line it up right about there. Click, close, grab the tab, and you can see here that very quickly I can get all 4 of those to line up. Now this is actually a pretty interesting picture on its own. This would be a really wonderful image on its own for, say, the constructed image unit, something along those lines. In this case, though, what I'm going to do is actually look at the 3 layers here using the eyeballs. I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to go ahead and start by clicking the eyeball on the layer 1, selecting layer 1. What we're going to do is change the blending mode from normal to difference. I'm going to go ahead and hit Command Option 0 to look at it at 100%. I'm going to grab the space bar, click and hold the space bar to get the hand grabber tool to click and drag this over so it's centered on my screen. Once I have different selected, I've got the Move tool selected, I'm going to use the arrows on the keyboard to nudge this layer until the lines that I want to line up, which are right here, become black. Okay? Not too worried about this stuff right here. All I care about is this black right here. I'm going to change from difference to normal, and then you can see that these lines are going to line up really nicely. Now in terms of this white line, let's worry about that. Let's worry about it now. Why not? So how we fix that is we simply add a layer mask to this layer. We're going to hit D on the keyboard for default black and white. We're going to hit B on the keyboard to select the brush tool, or you can manually select it right there. Make sure the opacity and the flow are at 100%. Hit X to switch it, black and white, and then we just click and drag, and there that line will disappear. So what we're doing is blending the image together. I can also go ahead and paint over that little bit right there, and you can see right here that this actually becomes a problem here. We don't want that to show up, so I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that, space bar to get the hand grabber tool, and I'm just going to worry about this line right here. I'm going to hit the X key to bring that back, and you can see I've got too soft of a brush, so I could go up here and change it, or the shortcut key would be to shift right bracket to make a little bit of a harder brush. I'm going to go ahead and undo that, hit the X key, bring this line back, and now that's exactly where I want it to be. In terms of this arrow right here, this arrow right here, this arrow right here, we can fix that a little bit later. Let's turn the eyeball on and off, so here's before and after. And if we hold the Shift key and click on the layer mask, we can turn the layer mask on and off to make the line appear or disappear. So that's layer 1. The next thing I'm going to do here is click on the eyeball in layer 2, select layer 2, get back to the Move tool, change the layer blending mode from normal to difference, and then I'm just going to look at where those lines are using the arrow keys on the keyboard until it's black. Once I'm done, I change difference back from difference to normal, add a layer mask, get the brush tool, click and paint. But you can see here that's actually not going to work so well. So what I'm going to do is hit the X key, and I'm just going to have to like paint as close to that edge as I can. I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be able to cover this up with the final layer 3 up here, so I'm not too worried about it actually. Oops, hit X. And here's a little shortcut key. If you hit X and then go down to the place you want to finish and you hold the Shift key, it'll paint a straight line for you. And there we can get rid of that. And our box is coming together pretty nicely. All right, the final step here, we're going to add layer 3. Go ahead and select it. Turn the eyeball on, change the mode from normal to difference, line up the lines using the move tool, make sure we've got the move tool selected, and until we've got it black. Looks good right there. Change difference to normal, add a layer mask, paint with the brush. Hold the Shift key, click, Shift click, and we can paint out that guy as well. All right, so I'm going to hit Command 0 now, and you can see that we've completed our box. These arrows and stuff here in the corners, we're going to have to manually retouch out. But I think the main part of the box is good. We've got this gradient here in the shadow, and it's looking pretty good, I think. So the final step would be, well, there's a couple of ways we could do this. We could retouch each individual layer. What I like to do in a case like this is hold down on the keyboard Shift, Command, Option, E. And what that's going to do is going to take all of the layers, all the layer masks, and paint them into a new layer. I'm going to click on layer 4 and rename it Top Retouch Layer. And then here, I can hit Command Option 0 to look at it 100%, hand grabber tool, and I'm just going to use the clone stamp tool. And I'm going to go ahead and Option click down here and just clone stamp that arrow away. A little bit of a bigger brush. And we can do that for all of these arrows. Option click to sample from, and then paint it in. Making sure the opacity and flow are at 100% and the mode is normal. Just get rid of that arrow. This guy as well, we can make our brush a little bit bigger. This, it looks like there's a slight hue variation, so you can actually see the effects of what we're doing. In this case, I might use a little bit of a different tool than the clone stamp tool. For these smaller ones, it seems to be working okay. You can sort of see the effects of what I've done there, which is less than ideal. But there it is. Command 0, and then the last step would be retouch that guy, and then you just crop it. Crop in a little bit, and you've got your box. And the reason that we would do this is just to basically get a slightly bigger file than the file that would be available to get the screenshot in one take. So you can see, if you look really closely, the effects of our retouching. We would want to handle that a little bit better. But there we are. If we go image size now, it's a decent file size. If we were not resampling the image, we'd have a 4" by 4", where the original might be maybe about half that size. Should be able to get just a little bit of a bigger file.